from the champion. Oh, deep six! That could be it. Delivers this deep six.
Good evening, Deep Six Pro Wrestling Podcast fans. This is episode 58. Tommy, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Doing really good. It's good to see you. I feel like we haven't talked in a while.
It's only been about a week.
I know, but it seems like we haven't really talked a lot of wrestling here recently. So I'm glad to be able to get caught up here going into Fastlane tomorrow.
This week has absolutely been crazy. My parents are moving, helping them move. So to clear out 50 years worth of stuff in this house that they've been hoarding. So I got that going on, and I got to get myself ready for a move too at the same time. God only knows where I'm going to end up, but whatever. Keeping busy with that. And today was the first day of spring.
Yeah, man.
Went out for a nice bike ride, 55 degrees, nice, crisp, cool air. It was awesome. What have you been up to?
Man, just getting, just trying to get stuff done, keeping busy, helping out with my sister's show choir and, just getting ready for baseball season and some content I'm going to write for that. I'm really excited for Tampa Bay to get their chance this year, but yeah, man, just been enjoying life as much as I can.
That's awesome, man. So we got a bit to talk about, and we're going to introduce a new segment today. We're going to introduce a new character, so that should be pretty fun. So we're going to try to buzz through this part before we get to the fun stuff. We're going to talk about predicting Fastlane. So let's talk about the worst show of any wrestling promotion going on right now. Really quick, Monday Night Raw. So apparently we're getting Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania for the WWE title.
I'm not bothered by that. I think that's honestly a match that either person could win, and I think that they'd have their fans. Obviously, people want to see Drew get that moment for kind of carrying the company here over the last year, the COVID year and doing the Thunderdome and all that. But also Bobby Lashley, he just got his first chance for the title, and I think people are kind of liking him. I think people have really been enjoying the Hurt Business. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting match. I honestly am intrigued to see who would win that match. I honestly couldn't make a pick until after, I see the build up to WrestleMania here in the next few weeks.
Bobby Lashley looks great as a champion. It's fresh, so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Does Drew McIntyre get his WrestleMania moment? That's going to be interesting. But it is a big problem, though. This is a big problem when Drew versus Bobby Lashley is your best promoted match from the Raw side. Going into WrestleMania is a big problem, and we're going to talk about it later. And I may let off some steam. in a little while.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I actually made this comment to you yesterday about how, the card actually doesn't seem too bad if all the, rumored matches are planned to go, like as we saw with Kevin Owens and Sami
All the
Zayn
best
last
stuff
night.
is from SmackDown.
Yeah, it is all from SmackDown, but I think SmackDown's done a better job, like you said, at promoting stuff. Obviously, when Drew and Bobby is your best promoted match, it should be for the WWE Championship, but it really doesn't even seem like there's anything comparable on the Raw side. So yeah, I still think the card is going to be pretty good. I think it's going to be an interesting one, to say the least. But yeah, it's weird to think that on the number one show, like the most known show for WWE, we have one set in stone match that everybody knows of, and it's for the most prestigious title in the company. So they're kind of slacking behind here with 3 weeks to go.
Yes. So let's move on. We're going to revisit this for sure in our new
Yeah.
segment that we're going to debut a little later. We're definitely going to revisit this. And, oh man, I'm going to have at it. But anyway, another, I guess you can say, noteworthy thing that happened on Raw. New Raw Tag Team Champions, The New Day defeats the Hurt Business. Did not see that coming. But then we see Omos and AJ Styles challenge the New Day for the Raw Tag Team Championship, which should be taking place at WrestleMania, to my understanding.
Yeah.
So basically, that's really the only thing that's happening on the Raw side. And then, of course, you had Alexa Bliss challenging Randy Orton for a match, which will take place tomorrow night, which we'll talk about a little later. But you have that going. So the Randy Orton, Alexa Bliss, Bray Wyatt storyline is slowly building up.
Yeah. Seems
But
like we finally will get
honestly,
another
Tommy,
Firefly match.
everything that I just mentioned is all you need to know about Monday Night
Yeah.
Raw.
Well, I think we're doing the what is it? The Braun Strowman and Shane McMahon match.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be talking about
Awful, please.
that.
Awful.
This feud is going to be revolved around slime.
Yeah, and like it's slime and them questioning Braun's like stupidity, like his intelligence. It's an awful storyline, dude. It really is.
Don't even get me started on this because this is part of our segment later on.
Like I feel like the match would be pretty good because I feel like Shane always pulls something out of his ass for the bigger shows, but I mean, come on. He's calling him stupid and the slime, and I can't wait to hear your opinion on it.
It's coming. It is absolutely coming. NXT Wednesday night. You consistently the better show out of all three shows that WWE puts out every single week. Go figure.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they had the announcement that we're doing Takeover Stand and Deliver. They announced that last week, and they're building to it already. And I'm glad that it's 2 nights. Yeah. I feel like they always give WWE the main roster a really good push around WrestleMania with the takeover before, and I expect really nothing less. We didn't really see much of NXT last year because they were on the WrestleMania card. But yeah, I fully expect the takeover matches, if some of them are, Karrion Kross and Finn Balor and Dexter Lumis and Austin Theory or Johnny Gargano. I'm really excited for this pay-per-view.
Mike Mazza talking about Shane is the best in the world. Remember that. Well, just wait until my event is coming. We will revisit this in just a little while, for sure. Walter's back from the UK and confronts Ciampa. That's going to be interesting. As Imperium jumps Ciampa, we see that on Wednesday night after his win against Bartel. So I guess we're going to see Walter versus Ciampa takeover.
Hey man, sign me up. I mean, Walter's been missed. He had that great match.
That is going to be a barn burner. But I have a feeling Walter wins if that match does happen.
Yeah, I think Ciampa can take the loss. I think he's one of those guys, like a Cena. Not comparing him on Cena's level of, star power, but more like in the fact that he can take a loss and still come back, and people will know him as, Tommaso Ciampa, a viable foe. So yeah, I think Walter is still in the middle of a push. I think he should be the highest push person on the entire roster. And I expect him to have a barn burner with Ciampa. I think that's going to be a hell of a match.
Really quick on this one, we see Dakota Kai defeat Zoe Stark. Zoe Stark is a newcomer. She's really good worker. She's had some great matches, but she's been taking some losses. To the likes of Io Shirai, I'm sorry, Raquel. She's taken she took a loss to Dakota Kai the other night. So her stock isn't exactly rising, but she's having some great matches. So I'm looking for her to be like the next breakout star later this year once some movement goes up from NXT to the main roster. Ryan says did not like the crowd reaction that Walter got when he returned. I mean, listen, most of it's a fake crowd anyway. So if that was a real crowd, I think we would have seen a better reaction. And Mike Mazza with the NXT and NXT UK matches should replace all of Raw's media matches on the card. Raw is trash. Oh my gosh, Mike, wait till later in the show when I save the best for last, because I'm going to try to save my energy here and just vent it all out later on. That's absolutely happening. But, we see the debut of LA Knight. Let me tell you, he is such a good talker. Great on the mic. Let's see how NXT builds him up from here. He didn't work the half-bad match. Did a great job selling. Got one, 2 or 3 good moves in, including his finisher. So, I'm willing to give it a chance. I'm not too crazy about his name, though.
Yeah, I know, obviously, they couldn't use the Eli Drake name from, his time with Impact. And I think he was one of those names that people could recognize. But I remember, I think we made a comment to each other during, the show that he appeared on, where we were both like, LA Knight, that just doesn't sound like a good name. But it, like you said, he can talk his way out of a paper bag. I think he's one of the better talkers in the wrestling business. I really loved his time in Impact. But yeah, we're going to have to see what he can do. I think more people are going to get introduced to his style of wrestling, his, kind of brawler type, but also a really good I would compare him almost to Hangman. I think that's a good comparison. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what he does. I agree with you. I don't really know about the name. LA Knight just still kind of rubs me wrong.
I think they should have kept his last name and then maybe changed up his first name a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Eli Knight.
See, but that already sounds 100% better. But it's so much better than LA Knight.
I don't know how long that name will last for. We'll see. I mean, they've been known for changing. I mean, they changed Kenta's name to Hideo Itami after Kenta debuted under his first match under Kenta. They changed it really quick within like a week or two. So who knows? Whatever floats their boat. But anyway, we get Karrion Kross turns on Finn Balor as they were put together in a challenge that Scarlett Bordeaux was challenging Birch and Lorcan during the early part of the show. They were Scarlett was laying down a challenge for her man Karrion Kross and Finn Balor to challenge for the NXT tag titles. Then we see Finn Balor inadvertently, I believe it was Lorcan, and into Scarlett Bordeaux. Scarlett Bordeaux was knocked out. Karrion Kross didn't see any of this. So that all cleared up. And then by the time Karrion Kross noticed Scarlett was down, you see Finn Balor hovering over her to see if she was okay. And Karrion Kross instantly thought that Finn Balor was solely responsible, and he just went nuts, flipped out. And he even took out the other guys to helping Birch and work, and they took advantage of that and retained the titles by pinning Finn Balor. But what do you think of this build that we're seeing here between Karrion Kross and Finn Balor? I'm absolutely enjoying this. This might be my favorite WrestleMania build going into a WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, no, I've always been a big fan of Karrion Kross. I thought he deserved his title when he won. Obviously, he got hurt in that match and only had the title for 3 days. I think he deserves this spot. I've been really excited to see him come back into the main event picture and having a match against Finn Balor. I mean, we've seen what Finn Balor's done on TakeOver with Pete Dunne and Kyle O'Reilly in recent memory of the past year. He tears the house down. He's done such a good job, and I think giving a character like Karrion Kross, who has this mystery behind him and has this great heel manager in Scarlett Bordeaux, I think it's a really good pairing. I know he probably won't do it. I don't even remember how long it's been since he's done the Demon, but I think the Demon Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross would be such a good visual match, but I imagine they'll do just Karrion versus Finn
if they
Balor.
have Karrion defeat the Demon,
Yeah,
talk about
huge.
a rocket ship to his back.
Yeah,
Woo.
I mean, and I think they want to. I think he takes the title off Balor. But I mean, that would be crazy.
I think Demon Balor comes back eventually. It's got to be like
it has to, yeah.
It's got to be like one of those feuds where he's got to be put in one of these positions where he's like really, I don't know, like the severe underdog, like back against the wall kind of like storyline to it.
I just think that this one could have, just like I said, a really good visual kind of narrative to it because you have the mystique behind the Cross character and Scarlett Bordeaux and his theme song and his entrance and all that. And then you have the Demon Balor, first time since what? Probably 2016, 2017 that he's used the Demon.
I would say it's been at least 3 years. I can't pinpoint it right now, but I feel like it's been about 3 years for sure.
I feel like it was against his match with AJ.
Survivor
That's
Series.
the last one. Was it TLC or it might have been Survivor Series?
Yeah. I have to look that one up. It's been a while. I feel like it's been at least 3 years.
Yeah.
Moving on, talking SmackDown. We're gonna buzz through SmackDown and then AEW really quick before we talk Fastlane. Speaking of Scarlett, is she gonna wrestle? I don't know. I mean, if that's really in the plan right now, maybe she's training. We don't know about that. I know Scarlett Bordeaux's brother Parker is training right now, and he looks jacked. He looks like a young Brock Lesnar. So this is going to be interesting to see what we get out of him, what his wrestling name will be, and what have you. But Parker Bordeaux is training.
And he's getting a rub from, he got the social media reach out from Paul Heyman. A lot of people, like you said, have been comparing him to Brock Lesnar, and he basically gave him a stamp of approval there. So it'll be interesting to see. He looks, that is talk about a money-making match. Parker Bordeaux versus Brock Lesnar. That's got dollar bills written all over it.
Yeah, you got to do that match relatively soon, probably within the next 3-4 years. I don't know, but we'll see. SmackDown, Edge defeats Jey Uso to earn the right to be the special enforcer at Daniel Bryan challenging Roman Reigns for Roman Reigns' Universal title. Edge will be the special enforcer in that match because he defeated Jey Uso. We'll get more into the prediction part of it a little later on. But I have a feeling Jey Uso will be rearing his ugly face into that Fastlane match to lead into other things. But we see Roman Reigns lay out Edge. We see Roman Reigns lay out Daniel Bryan. Basically, everything. You know what? I'm going to say it right now. Roman Reigns has been carrying the main roster program for WWE.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
We're not talking about NXT because NXT is the best show. But it took 5 years too late, but it's still good. Roman Reigns is carrying the show. He's been great.
Yeah, and that's what, who would have thought that 5 years ago when he was getting booed at WrestleMania for beating Triple H? This heel turn has done wonders for him. I think it's really allowed him to show who he is as a person and just how good of a character he can be. And yeah, like you said, he's been carrying the main roster since his debut, his re-debut, I guess, at was it SummerSlam this past year?
Yep.
Yeah. So he's done great. I'm really excited to see this Fastlane match. I think they could really do kind of like a switch up here on the WrestleMania card.
I would truly say that Roman Reigns has now earned the face of WWE. You can call him that. Sasha Banks is right there. She's been doing some fabulous work with Bayley over the past several months, for sure. But moving on, we got Sami Zayn. They're doing the Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens program.
How can you not be
And
excited about this?
It's going to be a great match. And that's looking like WrestleMania. I don't recall if I saw that on the Fastlane card.
Yeah, I think they're going to hold it out to Mania. I think it's a match that deserves to be on Mania.
SmackDown once again building another good match for Mania.
Yeah. I mean, we've heard the rumors that, they kind of had to restart the card, like making the card. And if this is one of the matches that they came up with, I mean, like you said, you can't go wrong with this. I mean, their matches at TakeOver, their matches on the main roster. I think they wrestled at a Battleground pay-per-view. Their rivalry is so good going back to Ring of Honor.
Yeah, NXT they had a match where Kevin Owens was the bad guy who turned on Sami Zayn.
Yeah. So I think this is just another one of those
fight forever
matches. This reminds me of kind of like a Kurt Angle Chris Benoit match from like the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, where it was kind of just thrown on the card at the last minute, and it'll probably get overlooked, but it's going to end up being one of the best cards, one of the best matches on the entire card for both nights.
I wouldn't doubt it. I would say that would probably be my dark horse pick for sure, being best match for sure. Those guys are going to work. You got to let those guys go for at least 20 minutes.
Yeah,
for sure.
If they're doing 8 matches a night for 4 hours each, from what I've heard, it might be a 4-hour show each night. you got to give them 20 minutes at least. They need to be able to tear the house in like they have done at Battleground and TakeOver and stuff.
So here's a little bit of the backstory. The past couple of weeks, Sami Zayn has been having his own personal camera crew, his own documentary, and he's been trying to get Kevin Owens to join the documentary for the past 3 weeks now, 4 weeks, whatever. And then Sami Zayn just finally snapped, turned on Kevin Owens when Kevin Owens was, focused on talking to Michael Cole and Corey Graves, and we see Sam. And I saw it coming. The way they shot the angle, I saw Kevin Owens turned away. The camera was right on Kevin Owens only, and I knew that Helluva Kick was coming from Sami Zayn. Absolutely knew it.
Yeah, I think that's, again, you talked about how good SmackDown is. They've really done a fantastic job with their shot framing too. I think, like you said, that was one of those shots that they've done their production, and we kind of saw that with, or I guess that was coming with the move to Fox. But I mean, SmackDown has just done such a good job of like you said, telling these stories from using different camera angles, like you said, knowing the Helluva Kick was coming, or with Roman Reigns coming out of nowhere at SummerSlam. They've done such a good job, and I think it's tough. A lot of people give AEW credit for how good their shows look and with the surprises and stuff, but to set up a WrestleMania match with basically a camera angle, I think was really good. So I'm like you said, I'm really excited for this match. This is going to be one of the better ones. I really do agree with you. I think this would be my dark horse to be the best one of the night.
Tommy, did you get a haircut, by the way?
I did, but I've been wearing my hat all day, so my hair is a little messed up. So I got to make it look good. But yeah, I've been growing my beard out, got my hair cut again. So
yeah, you always got to connect that. You always
exactly.
Keep the mustache and beard connected.
Exactly.
Oh man, I cannot pull off a mustache. We'll never even try. It looks horrible.
Maybe for WrestleMania, I'll shave into just a mustache. It'll be my birthday.
April 5th, right?
Yes, 5th, sir.
Okay,
yes,
wow.
sir.
It's 2 weeks.
It's that Monday. It's that Monday of WrestleMania.
2 weeks from this Monday. Yeah, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
Unbelievable. It's coming quick. We're going to talk really quick about this one because we don't want to lose our viewers. But Tamina and Natty attack Shayna and Belair. Sasha was appearing to be in the corner of Belair, but leaves her after Belair was in Sasha's corner earlier in the night when Sasha Banks was taking on Nia Jax for the WWE Women's title. So Belair was in Sasha's corner the whole way, but not so much when Sasha had her match. When Belair had her match later with Shayna, Sasha comes out and then decides to turn around and not be in the corner of Belair. So that basically, and then Nia Jax, who was already out there, turned her back and went to the back locker room. Did not want to be in Shayna's corner for that particular night because we saw Shayna inadvertently cost Nia the chance to get the win against Sasha Banks on Friday night, which was the opening match. So that basically leaves Belair and Shayna in the ring alone. And Tamina and Natty take advantage. They attack Shayna. They attack Belair. And it looks like to me that WWE is planting the seeds of Tamina and Natty versus Shayna and Nia Jax for the women's tag titles for WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think that wouldn't be a terrible match. I mean, we've talked about it so much how AEW's starting to get really good at it, and we'll talk about that later here in the night. But WWE's women's division is just not as utilized as they should be, and their tag team division definitely suffers from that. There's really no consistent competitors. It seems like there's always one at a time, and then that team wins the title. Then you got to build up another team. So
every single women's tag team is like strange bedfellows.
Yeah, no,
there's no
really
tag
is.
Team division. Why WWE calling a tag team division? There's no division.
Why is Shayna with Nia? Like, I know that they're champions, but Shayna should be in the main event.
Same thing
Nia
for the men's.
should not be.
This is why they need to merge the brands. The men's have 4 tag teams on SmackDown, 3, maybe 4 on Raw. How do you call that a tag team division?
I get the people like the New Day, and they're fine. But, I mean, they've won the titles 11 times in 7 years.
Matches.
Yeah, in like 7 years, you get the same champions over and over again. It's like with people who win titles that much, and I think that's why people are getting a little tired of Charlotte, is because she's won, 10 titles in the 7 years she's been on the main roster. John Cena took 16. Yeah, 6. I think his last title win was 2017 to win 16 titles. So I just, their fresh matchups just aren't good. But this match I think could give a good team. I think Natty has always been good in the ring. Tamina's been a great veteran to have, and putting them in, a tag team match at least will give a team, a different team that WrestleMania payday.
Moving on, we'll come back to a couple WWE things a little later. We got a special segment for you guys that's coming, but let's stop the WWE talk for a few minutes.
We're gonna have enough here in the coming
heart
weeks.
Attack. Yeah, WWE is gonna get a lot of attention, but we're gonna come back to a couple things that we gotta touch on. But anyhow, AEW, we see Cody Rhodes defeating Penta in the opening match. And what an opening match that we got.
Yeah, this story has been interesting. I know Penta kind of called him out from the crowd a few weeks ago. This has a lot of good potential to make Penta into a future star. I think Cody's been that guy who's kind of just been pushing everybody over the limit on the roster when you have, guys giving guys like Scorpio Sky and Darby that push and Lance Archer. I think he can really make Penta look like an absolute star. So I'm looking forward to seeing them do more matches. I think they need to, because of Double or Nothing coming up so quickly, this is a match that you can extend a story for the next, 2 months? I think it's like May 29th. So, yeah, I'm excited to see the future of this rivalry here.
Moxley and Kingston defeat the Good Brothers, but the Good Brothers were dominating most of the match. We see Moxley get the roll-up win, but the Good Brothers continue to beat down Moxley and Kingston, and then the Young Bucks came to the save. So we got the build of the relationship going with Moxley and Kingston, but Good Brothers really put a beating on these guys.
Yeah, the Good Brothers have been a really important part here of AEW, and I'm excited to see what they're doing with, I know Kenny Omega is facing Rich Swann at the next TNA Impact pay-per-view. So that should be really good. I've been a fan of the way that Impact has kind of crossed over. I am interested if the Good Brothers will officially become a AEW tag team, if they'll win the titles at some point. But no, they have been a good part of the storyline, and I'm excited to see what Moxley and Kingston do. I think that's another match you can have at whether it's Double or Nothing or another one of these TV specials like they had with this past Wednesday.
I didn't have this in my notes, but we'll talk about it really quick. We have the new group of The Miz. What's his name?
MJF?
Ty Dillinger. MJF. Oh god,
not The Miz. You always do it every episode.
Oh man, MJF.
Shawn
Spears, FTR.
Wardlow
and then Wardlow is the bodyguard, and then Tully Blanchard's basically the manager. So I'm thinking this is going to lead to like a 5-on-5 type of match, a blood and guts stadium stampede maybe coming up at Double or Nothing. What do you think here? I think I don't think these guys are going to touch in a match until the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, I think this is the kind of, like you said, this would kind of be the match that you could do a blood and guts. I think they've referred to themselves as the Pinnacle. I think it's what they kept referring to as. So
yeah, they refer to themselves as the Pinnacle. I'm not too sure if I'm a fan of that name, but
yeah, that's an interesting name. But you can do. I think we're going to see if
you could have done something like the New Horsemen.
Yeah, you could do that because they did
Five
reuse.
Horsemen.
Yeah, they used the Horsemen. There were obviously different variations of them with, Benoit and Luger. Yeah, I'm sure we're going to see some type of stadium stampede match, or blood and guts would be really good to see for the first time at Double or Nothing. I think, especially with having fans at WrestleMania, we might start getting to that point with AEW, and I think you can finally pull that match off. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't really expect these two teams. I think we'll see a lot of, Jake Hager and Guevara versus FTR. Matches like that. I just don't think we'll see MJF and Jericho, like you said, lock up until probably the next pay-per-view at Double or Nothing.
I can see that. It's something interesting happened on AEW too as well. There were a lot of. This was a pretty good week for AEW. I'm not gonna lie, but we saw dissension in Team Taz. I wonder what's happening here, but we see Brian Cage was given respect to Sting at the top of the ramp in the middle of an interview. And then Team Taz did not like that. Taz was flipping out, and Starks wondering like, what the hell you doing? Yada yada yada. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Then you see them arguing amongst themselves and go back to backstage. No acknowledgement from Darby Allin about the attack from Scorpio Sky last week, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah, this promo from Brian Cage was really good, and yeah, I'm still interested in seeing what they're doing with Darby. I think at some point somebody's got to beat him if you're going to build a new star. Whether it's Lance Archer or Scorpio Sky or Brian Cage. Brian Cage has got megastar written all over him. He's young. I think he's got the look, and now kind of breaking him away from Team Taz, I really like that idea. So if they do a multi-man match at Double or Nothing, this is, talk about a match that could steal the show. Brian Cage, I think, is going to be it's tough to pick against Omega and him as like the two guys who could be world champion at the end of the year. Or Hangman and him, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I honestly could see Hangman being the one to take the title off Omega. Unless they do like Moxley, they do a return match later on. But I could see Hangman being one of the next guys. It would make sense. It would come full circle. But the match that everybody has been talking about is Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker in a lights out match. Let me tell you, that was a barn burner of 20 minutes. Best women's match I've seen yet on AEW programming. Now, we got to pump the brakes for a second. does this, whether this puts the women's division on the map for AEW or not, I'm not too sure I'll go that far. But
damn, I mean, this was a hell of a match.
They got something to build on, and I noticed they brought in a couple Japanese wrestlers. Don't even expect them to remember their names. But they brought in a couple Japanese wrestlers, which we saw on the pay-per-view going against Akara Shida. So those girls too can also help add to this division. And we're gonna have a couple of returns later on in the year. But man, they tore it up. Unbelievable. The finisher of the match with Britt Baker going to the table, the blood, great camera work.
Yeah, again, I mean, AEW's production, I mentioned this earlier when I was comparing it to Fox with SmackDown. It's unmatched. Man, this match was crazy, though. I really saw... I didn't get around to watching Dynamite live. I actually watched it the next day, but I was scrolling through Twitter, and I saw the picture of Britt Baker completely bloody, and she's smiling through it. And
the thumbtacks.
The thumbtacks, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Knowing how brutal the last Lights Out match was with Moxley and Omega from Full Gear, I expected this one to be pretty tame, being that it's, on live TV, you're not on a pay-per-view format, and Moxley and Omega both had roots, doing the hardcore stuff, but holy hell did these girls, just tear the house down. It was such a great match to see them get the main event spot, let alone, perform the way they did. And Thunder Rosa is obviously a star with NWA, and I think she's done a great job since she's been in AEW, but Britt Baker made herself, if she wasn't a star before, she made herself a star this past Wednesday. It was a fantastic performance by both women.
Man, the crowd reaction that she's going to get when more fans are allowed into the building. Oh. She tore it up. She absolutely tore it up. Britt Baker's been, I would say, the best female wrestler, just all around, with storytelling, character builds, and even some of these moments, like the match we saw last week, and when she had the bloody nose a couple months ago, earlier in the year, or I should even say that was probably last year. But I think Britt Baker's been the best all around. She's right there, right there.
Yeah, she's going to be a future star. She's lucky that not lucky. I would love to see Adam Cole, if he ever left NXT. Her and him and her, they're obviously a real life couple. If they teamed up on AEW, man, they would put on some really, really good matches.
Mike Mazza talking was the Ember. This was the Ember to spark the beginning of something great for the women. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what happens next week. See how they capitalize on this going forward for sure. Need to see Abaddon in a match like that one. Oh, she's so gross. I don't want to see her face. Scares me. I'd rather Marilyn Manson's much better looking than her. But oh boy. All right. So we're getting closer to our special segment that we're going to debut. But first, we are going to run through the Fastlane card very quick. We'll do a little prediction. We'll start at the bottom of the card. Oh, we're going to get to this one in a couple minutes again. But Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon. I have a feeling this match will be no contest, and we're going to see a match between them two at Mania.
Yeah, I think they actually canceled this match. I think I read something that they canceled this match for tomorrow's pay-per-view.
All right, so they're probably going to.
Yeah, I think it's just going to build it to WrestleMania.
Hopefully, they wrap it all together.
And see, that's the thing is, I think it could be a good match, but the story is just so childish. It is so
I don't know.
2009.
I don't know if because I heard that Vince McMahon scrapped a bunch of things,
Yeah.
I don't know if that report came out after Raw or before Raw. So I'm hoping that this match is scrapped. I do not want to see it. That will be the bathroom break match. We'll talk more about that in a moment. But Shinsuke Nakamura versus Seth Rollins. This could be very exciting.
Yeah,
You got to give this match probably the most match time.
But I'm afraid that they won't. Like, that's the problem. I feel like especially since Rollins has come back, they've put him in some matches that have been pretty good, and I think the same with pretty good match length, and I think the same with Cesaro. Shinsuke sticking up for his buddy, but I just have a feeling this match will go maybe 10 minutes and not really get into the gear that it should from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, I can see them going about, let's say, between 10 and 15 minutes. I don't have faith in WWE booking the match the way that this should be, considering there's like 7 or 8 matches on this card tomorrow night. This isn't going to be a 2.5 hour pay-per-view. This is going to go on until like 10:30, for sure.
Yeah.
This is ending at 9:30. This is ending at 10:30. Absolutely. But, we got United States Championship Riddle versus Mustafa Ali. I don't know. Riddle just won the belt, but Retribution's got to go. Ali could use a little bit of a rub, rather quickly.
Yeah, I've heard that Retribution is probably on the outs here, but yeah, he's been really struggling. It seems so foreign to think about how, before Kofi Kingston, he was the original choice to kind of get that Kofi Mania run, or at least was the person who Kofi took
get
over
that spot.
For. Yeah. I don't know if that was the original plan, but he is just. I mean, people don't care about him. I mean, I don't care a single minute when Retribution comes on. I think it's hilarious every time that they come out.
I don't mind Mustafa Ali, but he's got that stink of Retribution behind him, and that's the problem. When you got T-Bar, Slapjack,
Mace.
Come on now with these masks.
Yeah.
Just come out as your normal characters, and you want Retribution for not being used right. It makes sense. The story tells itself. You don't need to look like Halloween characters out there. It's just stupid.
Yeah, they've looked so bad. I mean, they just look embarrassing. It's so weird. Again, it's foreign to think of how when Retribution first kind of came out.
Poor Dijak.
Yeah, poor Dijak.
We could have gotten some good Dijak versus Keith Lee matches.
And that's the thing. It's so weird. He was literally just having great matches. What? At the Great American Bash, didn't he have a match last year?
Right around that time.
Yeah, I mean...
He had fantastic matches with Keith Lee. They had like a trilogy over down there in NXT.
And now he's in Retribution doing, subtweeting Bow Wow with Randy Orton. It's bad.
Oh, man. It makes it hard to do a podcast sometimes when you have crap like this on TV. Randy Orton versus Alexa Bliss. You know the Fiend's got to be showing up here already. I think it's about time.
Yeah,
Alexa Bliss will get the win. Maybe.
I mean, how much time do you really have left? I mean, we got 3 episodes of Raw. Or 2 episodes of Raw? No, 3. I mean, could they really tell a whole story without him coming out on Sunday? I agree with you. I don't think so. I think Fiend has to get involved in some way, and then you can set up that Firefly Funhouse match, which I'm hoping is what they do. I think all signs point to that.
3 full episodes of Raw. 21st, let me see. No, 22nd, 29th, and I think your birthday, April 5th.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think the Fiend shows up here. No holds barred match. Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. Why are they doing this match? There's nothing, unless they throw in a stipulation at the last minute and maybe turn the Raw main event into a triple threat or something.
It should be good. Give Sheamus something to do. It doesn't seem like he really has a place on the card.
Yeah, but I don't know why they're doing this match. It's just a regular one-on-one grudge match. And listen, it's going to be a good match between Drew.
Oh, yeah.
Like you've had Drew and Sheamus working with Keith Lee and what have you. The three of those guys have been working different one-on-one matches, and Sheamus has been doing some good stuff. But Drew McIntyre gets the win here.
Yeah, I mean, that match, we saw them have a match on Raw a few weeks ago that absolutely tore the house down. I'm pretty sure they opened the show. This should be a good match, like you said, but there's really no storyline development unless you put Sheamus in the world title match, which I think, like I said, could be a good move because Sheamus doesn't really seem to have a WrestleMania spot right now. But no, this match, I don't see, unless if Sheamus gets in the match, I don't see McIntyre losing.
Yeah, I got Drew McIntyre winning. We got the Intercontinental Championship, Big E versus Apollo Crews. How did you like Big E and Apollo Crews fighting all over the Tampa Bay Devil Rays Stadium? You must have been eating that up.
I love it. Of course I love it, man. Only a few more days till the season starts.
Yeah, what day does the baseball season start, by the way?
April 1st.
April 1st. Oh, my goodness. I don't know what kind of season I'm in for this year.
Probably not a good one. If you're playing in my division, not in my Rays division.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. It might be a tough year. I'm leaning towards like a 500 season.
Yeah, I mean Boston's got some good pieces. They got a lot of good prospects.
Got some good pieces there. They got some good hitting, whatever. So we'll have to see. Big E versus Apollo Crews should be at WrestleMania. Yeah, why not? Maybe they get there because we have seen in a couple of years. I don't know if you guys remember the first Fastlane. I think was WrestleMania 31.
Yeah.
If you look at the WrestleMania 31 card, it was rematches from Fastlane the month or two before. And the WrestleMania 31 was one of the best WrestleMania since 17, by the way. Go figure. But I was very skeptical of the build for that WrestleMania 31 card because I'm seeing the same match lineup as I saw in Fastlane already. The same Cena, Rusev, and a lot of the same matches. So it's very possible, Ryan, that we will see the feud continue into WrestleMania for sure. It makes sense. It's 3 weeks out of WrestleMania. It would be rushed to start something new. So yeah, Ryan, I think you're right. I think we'll get Big E versus Apollo Crews once again at Mania. Apollo Crews have been doing some good work. The reverse Kofi Kingston, which is ridiculous.
It is very ridiculous.
Oh man, he's talking English for all these years. Perfect English. Now he's Nigerian.
The Nigerian prince.
Hey, listen, Apollo Crews looks great, but as I mentioned before, I think last week, Apollo can't help himself from smiling. Like you can tell he's literally trying so hard not to smile because that's just his personality. I think he's just genuinely a happy guy.
Yeah.
But like when we saw him standing tall last Friday night on top of the steps, the guy was smiling. You could tell he was holding his smile and he wanted to smile ear to ear. Oh man! But Apollo Crews has been doing some good work. I think he might get the Intercontinental title here. Not necessarily tomorrow, but maybe relatively
at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think it's very possible. Ryan, I think you're right.
I think
you're right, Ryan. I think we're gonna get Big E versus Apollo at Mania too. The Women's Tag Team Championship, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax versus Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. I don't see the titles changing here. I think we're going to see added dissension. I think we'll see Reginald probably get involved because, like we talked about a little while ago, they planted the seeds. They were planting the seeds for Tamina and Tamina and Natalia attacking Shayna Baszler and Bianca Belair. So I think they're going to go the route of Shayna and Nia keeping the titles, fighting Tamina and Natty, while Sasha and Belair settle their match at WrestleMania for sure. And not to mention, I bet Tommy will be back in the moment. The internet probably got cut out. Oh, there he is. Hello,
Sorry.
Tommy.
How's it going? Sorry, I'm still getting used to doing it on my phone here.
Yeah, you know what? The first couple of times when I got my new computer, there's a little side button on my mouse. I got the iBuyPower computer.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
weird. So, but if I hit that side button, like it escapes me out of everything I'm doing, and that's happened like twice where you had to carry the show for like 2 minutes before.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's annoying. Anyway, yeah, I was just saying one quick point, and I'm going to say it over and over. I'm not too sure if I'm fully sold on Reginald staying with Nia. They may still be going with the storyline there with Reginald interfering in Sasha and
yeah.
Bianca's business, and I have a feeling that Reginald is playing one of the two girls, Sasha or Bianca, and I have a feeling Reginald's going to go with Bianca Belair. I have a feeling it's going to be something that we don't see coming.
Yeah, I mean, again, got to build for the future. That'd be a good story to keep going after WrestleMania. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do there.
Yeah, you got Reginald using Nia and appearing to be on both the sides of Sasha and Bianca.
Yeah.
So you got a little love square. I'll call it a love square.
Yeah, exactly.
But Universal Championship match, we have Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan with Edge, the special guest enforcer. I would love to say Daniel Bryan's going to win this match, but if he does, then what do you have left to do for Roman Reigns?
Yeah.
The only thing I can say is Uso comes in, turns on Reigns, costs in the match. Daniel Bryan's your champion, gets Edge at WrestleMania. That's the only way around this. Otherwise, I got Roman Reigns winning because who else are you going to match him up against?
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough. I mean, I think they could still do the triple threat match with Daniel and Edge and Roman, but it's tough to pick against Roman because of how much they've advertised this spear versus spear, Roman versus Edge match. So I'd love to see Bryan win or at least get in the title match in some way. But yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. Which I think is good. I think they're actually, when people first knew that this match was coming, after the Rumble and after all that stuff, I think it was kind of one of those predictable ones. And I really think that you can go both ways here with whoever wins and have a good story for WrestleMania. So I'm looking forward to this match. It should be great in the ring, too. It should be a fantastic match.
I got Roman Reigns winning, but I have a feeling Edge might get involved somehow inadvertently. Or we could see the Uso cost Daniel Bryan a match and then set up Jey Uso versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, which I think they're going to go with. I think they're going to go with there. I think Daniel Bryan would love to work with Uso in a one-on-one match for sure. So I think that's where they're going. I thought they were going to go KO. I thought they were going to go KO in Uso, but they may have scrapped the plans for that.
Yeah, they must have changed it. But yeah, I think we can still look out for Jimmy Uso to make an appearance too.
Alrighty. Well, Tommy, are you ready for the burial?
I am.
I think it's time. I don't know why that said intro maker on there. I messed up. My bad on that video. But all right, we got some stuff to talk about. You got Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon. That was gonna be a Fastlane, and they're probably gonna do it at Mania. But what in the living hell are they thinking that I am supposed to buy into a storyline that is revolved around Shane McMahon calling Braun Strowman a stupid idiot and pouring slime all over him? What is this, Nickelodeon? I am burying this right now.
Put it in the ground,
this
man.
dude right now.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. It's like a DX dropping poop on the McMahons.
I have another thing to bury, by the way.
Oh, two things. We're getting a 2-for-1 special here.
Yeah, we have another one. I got another one. You have AJ and Omos versus New Day at WrestleMania. You mean to tell me that they couldn't find something better for AJ Styles at this year's WrestleMania? What in the world is this?
He's teamed with Omos, man. We got to see more of Omos.
What are they doing? Are they trying to book a Shawn Michaels Diesel kind of storyline with this?
Yeah, with the former bodyguard for WWE Raw Underground.
What is this? How do they not have something better for AJ Styles?
Yeah, this is tough. I mean, again, I think it'll be a good match because of AJ Styles, but I mean, AJ should be fighting Kevin Owens, or having a ladder match or something. He should not be in a tag team match with Omos, who we don't even know can wrestle.
No, I don't know. WWE might be putting in Omos as like an answer to AEW having Shaquille O'Neal on their show.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't.
Not a good look.
This is not good for AJ. Main event at WrestleMania against The Undertaker last year, and quite possibly is one of the best cinematic matches WWE's ever done.
Yeah,
good way for The Undertaker to go.
Now he's facing or teaming with Omos
for the Raw tag titles against New Day. Oh my gosh! Don't even get me started. How did they not have something better for AJ Styles here? It's beyond me.
I wish I could give you that answer.
Those of you guys that are watching, if you have any ideas of what we should do, they should have done with AJ Styles this year. I thought maybe they could have inserted him back in with, Drew McIntyre. But I got something else to bury too. The whole booking of WWE Monday Night Raw.
Every week, man. Every week.
How is it that Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley is the best thing coming from the Raw side for the WrestleMania card?
At least it's for the title. Like, at least it's not an undercard match. That's the best one booked.
Let me tell
at least
you,
the most important title as a story.
The past 2 months out of a 3-hour Raw, I have watched no more than 45 minutes. And in that 45 minutes, I collected everything I needed to talk about.
Everything you needed to know. Exactly. You get the Hulu version.
This is not good.
No.
This is not good. This is the worst program in all of wrestling. I think Impact is doing a better show than Monday Night Raw.
They are. They actually are doing pretty good.
Why should I care about Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon? Why should I care about AJ and Omos versus New Day? I don't care.
Because Slime and Braun's a stupid idiot, man.
I don't care. SmackDown's doing one heck of a job. I watch 75-80% of their shows.
Yeah, Raw's.
I'm sorry. I watched
awful.
about 75-80% of their whole 2-hour show.
Yeah.
But last night I didn't skip through anything. It was watchable. It was fine for me. I don't know what anybody else's thoughts on it, but
no, I thought it was good. It was a good show to have for the build up to Fastlane. It was good. It was enjoyable.
WWE needs to do a major reset on Monday Night Raw as soon as WrestleMania is over. They need to hit that reset button. They need to do away with the brand split. One champion, tag team, maybe IC, Intercontinental, and leave it at that. One tag champ. I
agree.
merge both divisions, so you have a real division of 8 to 10 tag teams, one champion, and have the champions float around the both shows.
Yeah, there needs to be a big change here for Raw. It's been like this for a few years now. It's getting worse too. So we'll see. Maybe WrestleMania will be a good starting point for them again.
We'll have to see. They have to hit a major reset button on Monday Night Raw. It is absolutely atrocious. I can't watch it every week. It's not watchable. Raw is not watchable.
At least not all 3 hours of it.
A lot of guys are left off the card every single Monday night, and I get stuck with Miz and Morrison taking up an hour of my show every Monday.
But Andrade's getting his release.
Andrade, good for him if he gets it.
Yeah.
WWE, I don't know what they're doing with him. He should have stayed in NXT.
Not the right thing.
Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is episode 58. I hope you guys liked our little rant on our burial.
The burials.
The burial. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be buried, especially from Monday Night Raw for sure. That whole show needs to be buried, if you ask me, but that's a whole nother story. But, well, make sure you guys are subscribed to the YouTube channel. Share with your wrestling buddies. That would help us out. We're also available on Twitter to catch all the updates, iTunes, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Not too sure what this week looks like. I'm telling you, these weeks have been so busy. It's been getting hard, but we try to get it. For us to get a show to you on a Saturday, I guess kind of goes to show that we're both busy. But it actually hasn't been too bad because we're able to get every single show in, which is good. But these weeks have been busy. But WrestleMania week,
could be busy, really busy for that one.
A very busy week, and Tommy and I will collaborate on how we'll be doing that. So once we get that information out to you, we'll let you know as soon as possible, probably the week before, when we're going to be on, how often we'll be on, and we're going to also have a special guest. We're hoping to get a special guest, Frank Manzo, back for WrestleMania predictions, and that was actually our highest viewed show.
Yeah.
Higher than when we had Just Incredible for episode 25. So we're hoping to have him back to predict the WrestleMania card with us. Hopefully it's going to take shape by then.
But yeah, hopefully.
I know. I mean, they don't have their card in place yet. They're getting there. They made some strides. Let's see what happens this Monday night. Anyhow, and let me see. We got some 2 comments left. Randy, thank you so much for your support. We love you. And yes, so this is our big week of the year coming up with WrestleMania, and then not to mention soon after our 1-year anniversary is coming up. Wow,
that's crazy, man!
Coming up very soon. Can't believe how quick that 1 year is gone. We'll be in our 60th episode in 2 weeks from now, so we're growing little by little. But we have you guys to thank for sure, and can't do it without you guys. And anyway, guys, that's a wrap. Episode 58 is in the books. Make sure you share this with your friends. Tommy, thank you so much for hopping on.
Thanks for having me, man.
Tonight, and we will see you guys all next week.